Let's talk about money. You don't know your numbers.
Holy fucking Christ.
I hope you're religious, because you should be praying.
Have you lost your fucking mind?
How the fuck are you running a business? So you're not managing money. What the fuck is wrong with you?
This is not business.
What were you spending your money on? I need you to start exercising fucking severe and extreme fucking emotional control around money.
On this episode of The Hustle with Justin Harrison.
Holy fucking Christ. You're losing money.
We need to squash the debt.
It gets fucking worse. There's already a fucker. Your lines are so fucking blurred, you don't know which way's up. You guys are not running a business here. It's a fucking hobby shop. You've got to get serious about running a business. You're losing money. You've got to be out of your fucking mind.
Yeah.
We're here in the south of Johannesburg today, coming to help a business that is in desperate need. Since COVID, their business has been obliterated. Their turnover is down more than half. We're going to see if we can come in here and breathe some life into this business, breathe some life into the entrepreneurs who are desperate for help and desperate for direction.
Morning everyone, my name is Jared and this is my dad and myself and his wife's shop, Discount Value Furniture. We have been around for a couple of years. My dad's got nearly 40 years of experience in the furniture industry. Myself and him are the face of our business. We pride ourselves on quality furniture for affordable pricing and a massive selection, and yeah.
Okay, so Jared, tell us a little bit about the business. When was it established?
Well, this business has been around for about a year and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is obviously the retail section.
This is our retail section, and then we also wholesale to other retailers all around the
So
country.
you have a factory, right?
We've got a few factories. We've got multiple suppliers who supply us different ranges, and then we basically buy from them and retail or wholesale.
Okay. So obviously furniture, right? Mm-hmm. What is like the number one seller in the business? Tell me what's the biggest, if I'm looking around here, what's the biggest profit line for you guys?
I would say probably our recliner set, or even our corner sets with the cup holders.
Right.
Anything that fits into the modern look of things, essentially.
So tell me about the framing.
Well, I don't know much about.
So we have to ask Dad, right?
Yes, we got to ask Dad.
Okay. So the reason why I ask is I'm always buying furniture.
Okay.
And today it's really hard to find frames that are not made out of pine.
Yeah, 100%.
Right. Okay. And so other than your recliners, what would you say is your next big seller, and what is the biggest profit margin if I look around the shop? What's the biggest profit margin for you guys?
You're looking at probably our recliners. You're looking at about $6,000 a set.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you had to go on volume last year, what moved out of here the most?
I'll have to just double check with my dad on that one, but I would assume either the recliners or our U-shapes over there.
So we're not even in the business yet. I got my first piece of advice for you.
Yeah, exactly. I need to know more.
You need to know what your best seller is.
Exactly, 100%.
Right? And where should the best seller be?
Right in front of the door.
Right in fucking front, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So we're not even 1 minute in. We've got the first piece of advice. Right? Okay, cool. And what has changed in terms of people buying furniture since COVID? What have you seen has been a shift?
I think people aren't going and getting your 40, 50 grand lounge seats anymore. They want to get something a bit more affordable because changes, style changes, taste changes. I mean, you might buy a recliner set this year. Mm-hmm. In a couple of years, maybe you've got kids, or maybe you've got something else, or dogs or something. So now you want a material set or something a bit more versatile. We also do a modular set, so you can change it from a corner to like a different U shape or whatever. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I think it's people are more willing to spend on our lounge suites because they're affordable. They can change as well.
Okay.
They're not going to feel sorry when they get rid of their 50 grand lounge suite or whatever.
Got you. Okay, so let's sit down and let's have a conversation. Let's find out what's going on with this business. Cool. Let's do brass tacks here. Turnover. What are we doing in turnover?
Probably.
You said gross margins on retail.
3%.
Okay. Gross margins on wholesale. Okay. What percentage of the turnover comes from retail? Retail, is it walk-in or online?
A bit of both.
Which is the predominant?
Online's who've made a booking or made an appointment to come and see us, essentially. So historically, we didn't have the shop. We were working out of a storage unit, and people were making appointments to come and see us. When that got busier, we opened the shop, which was last year.
Okay,
or the year before.
Let's talk about the debt. You got debts in the business at the moment?
Yeah.
Okay. Talk to me about that loan. How did it happen?
So when first started ordering from us, we found ourselves in a cash flow issue where we couldn't upped the orders too much. So I took a revolving loan. We got that, pumped the money into the business, got the orders out.
Right.
Then I would say February last year, or no, probably the year before, needed quite a bit of stock, so we took out a revolving loan and an overdraft of and bought stock with that to supply them up to like nearly R1 worth of stock we gave them.
Okay.
And after that, they literally started going down. So
okay, so this okay, where's that debt at the moment?
F&B.
All with
All with F&B.
Okay, what's your interest rate?
I've asked them to bring it down, but I think it's on 22.
Holy fucking Christ. Okay, so let me just point something out here.
Just to interrupt you, on that, okay, we're looking at about
Okay, so
a month's installment.
Yeah, let's not worry about the amount. Let's worry about the percentage. Okay, 22%. You can't do wholesale. You're losing money.
Exactly.
You can't do wholesale. You're losing money. You're fucking mad if you supply anyone in wholesale.
Yeah, it's a problem.
You can't do it.
But now, how do we keep our wholesale customers happy then?
You can't. You're not a fucking charity. You can't supply a business at a loss. It's not a business. You're losing 22%.
Every time.
Right? You're making maximum 12% margin. You're losing 10% on every fucking deal. This is not business. This is not even a fucking charity.
No, not to do. We are not. To
You
do
literally
so much.
cannot run that business. So that has to drastically change. If you're going to do wholesale, that has to change.
We need to squash the debt.
No, the debt is a separate issue.
Oh.
Squashing the debt's not going to solve the problem. You've got to change the fundamental agreements in place between you and the people you're wholesaling to. Right? They've got to fucking pay up front. Otherwise, don't do the deal.
Yeah. Because, I mean, the cost of money essentially.
You've got to pay up front. Or don't do the deal.
Okay.
Otherwise, you're fucking losing money.
Yeah. No, 100%.
It's in front of you. 22%, 12% margin.
Yeah, 10% loss.
And
just
you're asking me
from
how to
doing
keep the
business.
customer happy. Are you fucking mad?
Yeah.
Have you lost your fucking mind? You're losing money.
Yeah.
We'll come back to this debt in a second. You've got the margin in retail, and 22% fucking high, by the way.
Yeah, that's also what I've been trying to do.
Hey, but listen. It's not the fucking bank's fault.
Yeah, no.
You guys put yourself in the shit. It's not the bank's fault. They're entitled to charge whatever the fuck they want. They didn't force the money down your throat.
Yeah.
You asked for the money. You must pay the interest rate. If they want to charge you fucking 40% and you say yes, that's your problem.
Yeah, exactly.
They didn't force the debt down your throat. You're in debt because of you.
No, 100%. I have to be accountable on my decisions.
Exactly,
as well.
right?
Take
But the
responsibility.
wholesale doesn't work. You cannot run wholesale on this kind of financing. Can't be done. Okay, bank statement. Tell me, who is Jennifer
So
Holtz?
remember, so that account is shared with my wife who does beauty. So
It gets fucking worse. It
So
gets
essentially-
fucking worse. Now, you see why I asked for bank statements?
yeah,
Okay? There's already a fuck up.
yeah.
Your lines are so fucking blurred, you don't know which way's up.
Yeah, so essentially what the beginning plan was to open the business so that I could pay my wife a salary, so she could be not self-employed.
Hang on, let's just stop for a second. Before you can earn a fucking salary, the business has to make a profit.
Yeah, hers is, but it's going into this account. That's the problem. We shared the accounts.
Why?
No reason actually. No reason. Oh yeah, well, VAT registration. So when we
Who needs
registered,
that?
so that was primarily the South Africa account. So that we were doing months. So that's why we thought that account was already.
Do you understand why you're in financial shit?
Because I don't know what's going on.
Because this is a fucking spider web.
Yeah.
This is a total spider web. Okay?
So since this, my wife's got her own separate business account now.
When was this statement?
December.
So this happened in January. The
Yeah.
correction.
Yes, correction happened in Jan.
Because I was coming.
No, not at all. No.
Because you realised it was fucking stupid.
Yeah, a little.
Okay. We got unpaid here, big problem.
Yeah.
That's costing you, every single unpaid is costing you a small fucking fortune. So you need to get your cash flow sorted out. You've got no cash flow management clearly. I don't even have to look at your fucking books
No,
to tell you.
no.
There's no control of money in, money out. Okay, so you're going to get a lesson in that today.
Yeah.
Supplier payments.
So that would be paying either our guys who manufacture the couches or
Which
anything like
supplier?
that. Probably. Or
Probably.
yeah. So I'll put it.
Probably.
Yeah. That's my fault that I
Okay,
put.
so let me tell you something. You can ask me at any given day what the balance is in any one of the 18 bank accounts we have. Okay? You can ask me the most recent transactions the last 3, and I'll tell you from memory. You're fucking not running a business here, bud. You're not even running a tuck shop.
No, I know. It's been a spider web, to say the least.
You guys are the problem. It's not the business, right? There's no amount of money or customers that are going to solve your problem until you fix the fucking base.
Yeah, foundation is...
You can get as many customers as you want coming through that fucking door. You're going to piss every cent away if you're not starting to manage things. Do you understand cash flow management?
I'm starting to.
It's a fucking simple concept. Money in,
money out.
money out. And you can't let money go out until it's fucking come in. You don't pay a supplier until you've been paid by your client. But equally so, you must make sure there's money to cover. This is called cash flow management. You know, when you're running a retail shop, there's a little fucking thing called a till draw, cash float. This is the way your business runs. You need a cash float. You need a certain amount of money in your operational bank account. Let's say your expenses are 400 grand, right? You need 400 grand in the kitty to carry you. That's your float. You don't dip into that. That's an emergency.
Yeah.
Right? And then anything that comes through the door goes into the bank. Once you've collected, you pay out. But if you're paying out before you collect it, you're not running a business. The object is to get paid first and then to pay.
Yeah, essentially make your terms with your suppliers longer than the terms of your customers.
Right, so we'll get into those discussions. That's a deeper discussion. But I'm more concerned about fucking getting even more basic here, because what I'm seeing is a total shit show.
Yeah.
This is a problem that exists historically, and it probably goes back to your dad. When you are a solopreneur, you do things, you make money, sometimes are good, sometimes are bad, but there's no structure. When you're running a business, it's very different to being self-employed and a solopreneur. You got rents to pay, you got staff to pay, you got suppliers, you got to keep the fucking lights on. You suddenly have to come last in the queue. So let me ask you guys something. Are you guys drawing salaries when you don't hit margin, when you don't make profit for the month?
No. So historically, no.
Okay. So how do you live?
My job. So this...
Is there any personal expenses that go off any of the business accounts?
No.
Cell phones,
No.
internet, anything from home, domestic workers, nothing?
No. That...
Okay. So that's the one thing you're doing right.
Yeah. So that the only stuff that comes off of that account essentially is the debt that the business made.
Okay.
But because we don't have cash flow, there's a problem.
Okay. So listen, first thing, number one, you want to make notes here. Number one, you guys need to start a P&L report. And that P&L report needs to be weekly, right? If you don't have a weekly P&L report, you don't have a map. You don't know where you're going, okay? Profit and loss report is what went out, what did we sell, what was our margin on it, what did we make gross, okay? That's your weekly. Your monthly P&L report, you take off the actual expenses, rent, salaries, and then you know what your net is for the month. But during the month, you need to know where your gross is, right? Because based on your gross, you know what you can expense. If you've made 50 grand gross, that means after supplying product, after paying for that product, you've got 50 grand left. You know with that 50 grand, you can fund the expenses in the business. You can't have more expenses than what you've got in gross, right? So your weekly P&L is a gross report. Your monthly report is a net report. After we've paid out all expenses, salaries, fucking coffee machine, all the rest of it, what are we left with? That's your net. A net P&L report monthly. You got to start doing this fucking from today. You're not running a business otherwise. Second thing is, I'll ask you for a balance sheet. I'm sure you have some vague fucking idea of what your stock holding is, right?
No, I'm not too sure.
So if I ask you today, within 1,000 rand, tell me what your stock holding is. Can you tell me? Okay. How much have you got that's not in stock, that's part of manufacture in goods like leather, fabric, nails, battens?
Nothing. So we don't manage that because our suppliers will manage that. So we literally put in our orders, they make the couches, and we deliver to our end customer, whether it's wholesale.
So it's not your factory?
No. So we're quite asset light on that.
So you don't actually have a factory?
No. We've got suppliers who own their
Okay, so you've got other people manufacture for you?
Yes.
I'm presuming they manufacture on your designs?
Yeah. Yes.
How do you know your designs aren't going out to other...
Everybody copies our designs, unfortunately. Fortunately, our quality is better.
Really?
I think so.
Based on what?
Based on my opinion.
Okay. Are you manufacturing it?
No.
So how can you tell me that?
True. Hey.
Be very careful of knowing what your speciality is in the business.
Yeah. That's true.
It's clearly not manufacturing. Design, yes.
Yeah.
Design, yes. And supply, yes. But don't talk manufacture. Because you guys are not buying fucking nails. Well, the nail lady is. Right? But you're not buying nails.
Not those kinds of nails.
Right? So your 300 grand that's sitting in stock is basically, you've had that manufactured, you've ordered it, you've paid for it. It's paid for. What are your terms with those suppliers?
Payment in advance, payment up front, or payment on delivery. COD.
Some guys give me
So hang on. You're telling me on a fucking 12% wholesale margin, you take it, you pay for it on delivery, and then what do you get paid on?
not just on wholesale. I'm
And retail.
in the retail here.
Okay.
Whatever, like example, I had an order delivered yesterday, wholesale. They delivered to the clients. Clients paid me this morning. I paid the supplier. That's how it's doing now.
What's stopping them from going direct to supplier?
No, they're crap.
Our relationship with the
My
supplier.
relationship.
Yeah, my dad's relationship with our supplier.
And what happens when that changes? What's the contract that's in place?
No contracts in place.
Okay, you don't have fucking business. There's a handshake.
Yeah.
Guys, you need contracts. This is a fucking business. Forget this, we've got a relationship. My dad has been doing this for 40 years, we've got a relationship. But this is business.
Yeah, unfortunately.
This is fucking business. You don't have an agreement in place with your supplier or suppliers. You should be making sure they can't just copy your fucking designs, right? For no other reason than to build value into your business if you decide to sell it one day. Even if somebody does plagiarize, this isn't going to happen, guys. But if you've got a contract in place that says, these are the terms of supply, these are the deliverables, this is a service level agreement, this is when we expect to fucking get the stuff, this is the quality checks we expect in place. You're running a business. At the moment, it's on a fucking handshake.
Yeah.
And it's not that business has changed, that you can't do business on a handshake. Relationships are important, but believe me, a fucking contract's even more important. You know, you guys are not running a business here.
No.
It's a fucking hobby shop. And you've got to change it.
Yes.
You've got to get serious about running a business, right? Okay, so you need a supply agreement. Put that on your list. And part of that supply agreement is you guys need to start looking at the terms of payment, right? And so I'm going to give you some ideas. Potentially, if you've got long-standing agreements with these suppliers and you've been working for them a long time, what you can do is you can say, listen, we want to help your cash flow, but we also need to help our cash flow. How about instead of paying you COD, we give you 50% when we give you the order, okay? And give the remaining 50%, maybe, let's say, 20 days after delivery. Just as an example, I mean, you guys can play around with the negotiation on it, right? What you're trying to do is you're trying to create breathing room, okay? So you're not killing them, because I presume if you went and said, we don't want to pay anything, they're probably going to tell you, fuck you, right? So you've got to go to them and say, let me pay you something up front, 20%, 30%, negotiate, right? And then pay the balance over like a longer period of time. But then the key is to make sure you get paid
In that time.
before that time.
Yes.
Because this is how you go cash flow positive. You've got to create room. You've got to create, we call it in business, runway.
Yes.
Runway between getting the product and selling the product. You've got to create margin. And margin is created. The fucking wholesale side of your business, the only way you can continue to do wholesale is that it's either fucking COD or payment up front.
Yeah.
Because presumably you're going to have the same agreement with them, because whether you're going into wholesale or retail, it's the same supplier, I'm presuming.
Yes.
Right? So it's going to be the same set of terms. The terms are not going to change whether it's wholesale or retail, am I correct? The supplier doesn't give a shit what you're doing. Wholesaling and retailing, they don't give a shit. They just care they get paid and they're pushing product, right? So part of your pitch to them has to be, by the way, when you go to me, you say, guys, we want to grow our business. And that indirectly means growth for you guys. But we need to create breathing room so that we're not taking on financing and burdening our business. So we just be open and transparent. So guys, we need to create runway. So how about we put this agreement in place? Get that agreement in place, in writing, okay? Part of that must be a service level agreement, quality checks, and all the rest of that shit. Right, now you go to the wholesale business, and I'm telling you the wholesale business is not fucking working right now. You guys can't run that business. In fact, if you take one order today onwards, you're losing money. You've got to be out of your fucking mind.
Yeah.
So you literally have to say to these guys that you're wholesaling to and say, the terms of our arrangement has to change, right? So here's what we can do. The day we deliver, you can pay us. We normally make 12% margin on our orders, right? You don't have to tell them the exact margin. You can fucking say whatever you want. How about we come in at a 4% discount or a 5% discount? Right? So remember, you've got to give them an advantage as to why they're going to pay you early.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to come and fucking give you money for free. So if we say to you, listen, let's give you a delivery today, you pay us today, we give you a 5% discount. Maybe at the end of it, you're only making 3%.
But at least you got the bucks.
But you got the fucking money, and you actually made 3%.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas at the moment, you're making 10% negative.
Yeah.
Because you're fucking financing it.
So historically we ran well.
I just want to stop here quickly. I don't even want to fucking hear about.
Okay, cool.
Now let me tell you why. You're the problem.
Yeah.
It's not. You allowed that problem to happen. You didn't see it coming. You weren't predicting the fuck up. You weren't thinking ahead of the problem. Yeah. They are not to blame. The world will fucking rape you and abuse you if you allow it.
Yeah.
And I know people don't like to hear this. It's a victim mentality to go, well, you know, when so-and-so fucked me over, when the business partner fucked me over, when my wife cheated on me, listen, shit happens in life. You got to take responsibility for it, okay? I don't even want to fucking hear the word fucking, that is your fuck up. That relationship ended where it is today because you didn't manage it. You didn't have a good cash flow management system in place. You didn't see the margins every week. You weren't predicting whether it's going to work or not, whether it's going to fail or not. You were taking the business and happy to smile when it was there. You were reactionary.
Yes.
You didn't get ahead of the problem, right? So I don't want to fucking hear about them. When that happened is not important. When that happened, we can't change what happened. We can only change what's going forward, right? So I'm telling you now, the only way you can wholesale is to make margin. That means you have to get paid the day you pay out. Okay. In fact, before that fucking thing hits their floor, guys, I need payment. Not proof of payment, I need the money in my bank account. I need to see it in my bank account. And for that, we will give you a discount. And if you're not prepared to do business on those terms, then I'd rather not do the business. This is not a choice. Jared, this is not a fucking choice. Look at the margins, my man.
Yeah, exactly.
This is not me saying you have a choice in this. Look at the fucking margin. You're losing 10% a month.
Yeah, exactly.
That's 120% a year. You'll be out of business in 2 years.
If not sooner.
Right? You cannot do that business unless you change the structure and order of the cash flow around it. And anything that's coming into stock in retail, and guys, you need to look around at your stock holding. We'll talk about retail shortly, right? But the wholesale, you've got to get it in your guys' heads. You cannot do that on this kind of fucking debt. You can't, and listen, you're not in the business of financing somebody else.
That's where we made our mistake, I think.
Right? I've told corporates this over the years. I'm not your fucking bank. I'm not your bank. You need money, go to your bank. You want my product, you fucking finance it.
Yeah, exactly.
And if not, I'd rather not do the deal because I'm losing money. I'm not going to supply something to make you smile and I lose money. And what is the average wholesale order? Give me an idea. So on that, you're losing.
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, 100%.
You can't do that business. You cannot do that business.
It's pretty.
You'd rather kill that side of the business until you find a deal that works. And maybe that's new clients, maybe it's a different product line, maybe it's a different market. You need to, that's the other thing. Stop sitting in your fucking ass. You need to go hunt some fucking deals. I saw you said I'm in sales and invoicing, right?
Yeah.
Well, go fucking sell and do some fucking invoicing.
Yeah.
You're sitting here waiting for customers to walk through the door. It's not going to happen. Who is the single biggest mover of product that you can wholesale to? Go knock on their fucking door with persistence until that door opens. You should have 5 of them that you're knocking down doors. Get the deal. But you can't keep doing this business. You cannot do it. It makes sense, you guys. I know it's hard to hear, but you cannot do it.
It's a fact.
You're fucking losing money. Okay, so wholesale is fucking really simple. Okay, get the margin or don't do the deal.
Yes.
Okay, doesn't matter if it's $1 million turnover. Fucking turnover is vanity. How much are you making profit?
Yeah.
Business is about making money. If you're not making money, you're not in a fucking business. Okay, so wholesale, That problem's off the table. Look around here. How much money am I looking at here? Okay, so of the these here, in the next 30 days, how much will turn here? The third. So you're telling me you've got 3 months supply in here?
Yeah.
Why?
Because a lot of the stuff that we manufacture, you also specialize for a customer. They could come in and want this lounge sheet, but they don't want it like this. They want an extra seat, and then we offer that. And that's
To do custom as well.
it's an order from this.
Okay, so the biggest killer of any business is customization. It's the biggest fucking killer of any business, right? If you're not making, and I shit you not, if you're not making 70 to 80% margin on a customized order,
There we are.
you shouldn't be doing it,
They're
right?
lifting margin.
But now you need to get into the 21st century. You don't need fucking all these couches sitting here to sell a custom order.
No.
You need to build a fucking website where people can build shit.
That's what I've been trying. I've been playing
It's
around.
not
with
rocket
that
science, right? Don't play with it. Come up with a fucking idea. Tell someone to make it for you. Stop playing. You got sitting here, of which you're going to only turn that in 3 months, right? Money in, money out. You got a cash flow problem. You need to be turning what's in this store every 30 days. It's got to be turning. Now, there's a number of ways to do that. You also want to retain the customized orders because there's high value in it, right? There's a way to do that. That's a business strategy. I'm talking finance in this section. And we'll talk about the business strategy, but you cannot be sitting on something like this that takes 3 months to turn.
Yeah.
The money is not making sense, and you're fucking paying 22% financing on it, which effectively, it's fucking cost you 66 fucking percent. You haven't calculated this yet. So now you're telling me we're making fucking 50% margin or 60% margin. You're not.
Yeah, we aren't.
You want to know where your problem is? You're not turning product quick enough. You need to understand this is business is about volume. It's a volumetric calculation.
Yeah.
Okay? The first question I asked you on the way in here, what's the best moving product? You know why? That's what you stock. What's your second best moving product? That's what you stock. What has been sitting here the longest?
That balcony couch,
Oh, the one just over here.
like just we opened.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck,
Okay.
yeah.
So you see this. So this is what happens, right? So here's what you do: you catalog ideas and catalog customizations, and you create an incredible fucking interface. Somebody can come in here, you pull up a computer, go through, change your colors, fucking your different sizes, your dimensions. You offer a bespoke experience. It's going to cost you nothing to create it. Maybe 40, 50 grand total to get somebody to create that whole thing, right?
Yeah.
But now all of a sudden, you're not holding 3 months worth of stock on something that's not fucking moving. Okay? In the shop, clear this fucking space out. This looks like a fucking bed mattress shop. Get some fucking space in here and turn it into a goddamn showroom. Right now it looks like a storage unit. Okay? Turn it into a fucking showroom. Where's the lights? Where's the carpet? Where's the ambience? People need to see what they're buying. There's a reason why Strip has a stripper pole.
Yeah, advertise.
The point I'm making is you have to present. Okay? This is not presenting. The only fucking thing you've got on here is pricing. This is your selling point, right? I can tell you right now because it's in, I'm colorblind, but yellow,
Yeah.
right? And it's on every fucking couch. You need to turn this into a showroom because, as you said, most of the people are coming in by appointment. I don't see too many people driving past you going, today's the day to buy a couch.
Yeah.
Right? This is a showroom. Get some fucking lamps in here. Get some ambient lighting in here. Get some fucking music going. It's like a fucking mortuary in here. Create ambience. You're selling people an experience. You've got to stage
Yeah, you've got to
every
get into
piece
their
of
emotion.
furniture. You're selling feelings. Women don't buy couches, brother. They buy a feeling. They buy an emotion.
Yeah.
Man or woman walks in here, who makes the decision?
The wife.
That's my fucking point.
Exactly.
That's my fucking point. This needs to become a showroom. And guys, you don't need to spend a ridiculous amount of money to do it, right? Get out of all the shit that's actually sitting. Take your top 5 sellers, present them, and then set up an area, a proper fucking bespoke experience where somebody can walk in here by appointment, sit down with you, and you can go like you're designing their fucking kitchen.
Oh, cool. Yeah, exactly.
Would you like it in kudu? Would you like it in zebra?
Yeah.
right? That's what you need to be offering. This is selling. This is business. What you guys are doing is sitting and waiting for somebody to fucking walk in. That's not business. Not only are you not running financials, but I hope you guys are religious, because you fucking should be praying every day. Because it's luck. I'm being honest with you. Right now, you're here on luck. And the fact that your dad has been in the industry a very long time. That's it, right? But the default is not going to work anymore. The default's not going to work anymore. You have to focus on taking this and turning it into something. I also asked you a question on the way in, and I said to you, what are you noticing as trends? Okay? Stop fucking watching Netflix. Stop looking for a side hustle. Stop trying to invest in fucking Bitcoin. Stop trying to buy fucking diamonds. Get into the mindset of the consumer who's buying. Who is spending money in this country? We all know. What are they buying? There's a gaudy piece, I call it gaudy furniture, in the back there. Fucking, there's a market for that. You need to figure out where the market is. This is not about putting something in place and waiting for people to come by. This is about positioning something that somebody really wants, right? What you're selling is you're selling aspiration. For some people, it's just a fucking couch, but they're going to go to Mr. Price for that, doll. Right? Let's be honest. They're going to go to Mr. Price for that. You got to give them something else. You got to bring that customer in the door who wants that, the gold and the trimmings. I don't know if that's what it is, but you need to figure out what it is. Maybe it's baby wingbacks. Maybe it's big wingbacks. I don't know what it is. There's markets you haven't even started to consider. Hotels, restaurants. You need to get off your fucking ass, get away from that fucking computer, and figure out how to go fetch the business. The business ain't coming here. Nobody gives a fuck about where you are or who you are. You have to go fetch the business. So number one lesson I teach, don't wait for business to come to you. Go fetch the business. You should be in sales, mom should be in invoicing. It's that simple. Every 8 hours, I say to my guys, every day is a fucking sales day.
It's on my desk.
Every day is a fucking sales day, right? So you need to figure out what are the right products to position, turn this into more of a showroom, get a strong online presence, we'll come to that later. You got to drive people in. So all of that is a business strategy. But guys, you're not going to fucking get it right here and get your money right. You can't be sitting on stock here that's taking 3 months to turn. You can't do it. You cannot be sitting here making 8 to 12% margin when it's costing you 22%. You can't even say you're making 60% margin retail when it's costing you 66% to finance it. Okay, so some of it will turn in 2 months, some will turn in months. So it's probably costing you realistically 45%. So you may be making 15%. There's no ways you can run this business on 15% margin. If you're doing 5 million, your expenses are going to increase exponentially. You won't run it on 15% margin net. Promise you won't.
No.
Right? So let's talk about the financing, because that's the big fucking elephant in the room. You made the shit. You're in the shit. And I'm presuming, based on the way you guys run your money and your finances, you've got personal surety into that debt.
Probably.
So we don't even know if we've got personal surety.
I need to obviously have a look at
Jared.
the contract. It's been bad.
Jared. Okay. You need to find out the interest rate. You need to find out if you've got surety on that debt. You need to find out exactly how that debt is structured, the terms. I'm guessing it's revolving.
One of them are. So there's an overdraft and a revolving.
Okay. The only fucking way for you to get out of this shit, there's only 2 ways. Or there's 3. You close the doors, that's one way. Okay?
But we're not doing that.
If you think you're going to trade your way out of this debt, you're fucking delusional. You're completely and utterly fucking delusional. You will never trade your way out of this debt. But your fucking turnover tells me you'll never trade out of this debt. If we take you to 4 million a month in turnover, you won't pay this debt off in 4 years. Based on your current margins. 22% debt funding interest rates. You won't pay it off. Okay? So you have to consolidate that debt. You're going to have to fucking go kiss the bank's ass. And you say, guys, we can't pay this debt.
I've been asking.
No, you that's the problem. You've been asking. It's a fucking bank. You tell them.
Okay.
That fucking thing behind the counter is a clerk. I have zero respect for banks. Fucking zero.
I know about that.
I have zero respect for a bank. And based on the interest rate, nor should you.
Yeah.
Okay?
Exactly.
90% of what you're paying is servicing debt. Interest on the debt. So what I need you to do, I need you to go to the bank. consolidate that debt. Guys, I need you to fucking come up with another agreement here, or we're closing our doors. And you'll get fuck all. That's how you need to go in. You will get fuck all, or let's work together and let's figure out how to consolidate this debt. I can bring this down to a 10 or a 12% interest rate, even if we extend the term. Once you get the interest rate down, then you can start trading your way out of debt. You will fucking never trade your way out of debt on 22% interest rate. Fucking never. You're paying higher than a credit card rate on that. And most importantly, you guys need to fucking start doing proper financials in this business. You need P&Ls, you need an asset register, you need a liability register, you need a proper balance sheet. Go get a fucking free accounting program, Xero.com. It's for free. Learn how to do it yourself. You need to run a proper set of books. This fucking cash under the fucking mattress story. This is not running a business. You need a proper set of fucking financials in this business. And not what dad thinks or what mom thinks or what you think. The actual fucking facts. You just bought one nail, it's expensed. You just bought coffee, it's expensed. There's no money for coffee. We don't buy coffee.
Yeah, exactly.
On the next episode of The Hustle with Justin Harrison.
What did you do last week?
Nothing. We haven't got a website.
You're not running a business here. Tell me about your Google listing.
I haven't had a look at our Google
Got one shit review on it, by the way. Guys, we live in 2024 here. If we can't find you online, if you don't have a strong web presence, if you don't have a strong social media presence, what are you doing?